Welcome back to another Plasticon review. Today we're going to cover Generation 2 Dinoking. Here is Dinoking broke down into his 5, yes 5, not 6 components. We're going to take a look at each individual dinosaur and then look at all the alt modes and then obviously the combined mode. So let's get on with that. Taking a look at the Triceratops, also known as Kakairo, he's really cool. He's got this like neon green going on with this kind of a hot pink, the little purple tail. I do like that. He's got these little black legs that are kind of sticking out. And he's really neat. I love all the sculpting on this guy. As you can tell, he's got a couple guns here mounted on the sides. And he's got his Decepticon emblem right there on the back, which is nice. And he's really neat. I do like him a lot. He's got a little bit of articulation. He's got a head movement that can move back and forth. He does have a jaw that opens and closes. And then he also has leg movement. His legs here move back and forth, which are kind of in a little bit of a soft ratchet there. These are just kind of screwed in, so they just move back and forth. This port here kind of it can move up like this, so if you do want to kind of put him in a bit of a more walking pose, you can do that, although it kind of breaks the illusion, but that's okay because this is a very kind of early G1 design, which is really nice. I do like him a lot. Love his head sculpt. It's amazing. I love Triceratopses, so that's why I'm starting out with him, because he's obviously my favorite. But yeah, he's got a really cool little thing you can do here. These guns here actually come off, and they can combine together for the larger robot mode, and also you can use these in his alt mode as well. He does have little holes here on the back, and mine are a little tight trying to put these in, but you can mount the guns on here. If you wanted to sandwich the two together, you can probably make it fit the two, but with these little posts here, I really don't want to force it too much. Would have been neat if I could like shoulder mount here, but it doesn't really do that. But these guns, you just got all different kinds of like things they can do. And they have all these little ports, and all these ports are pretty much interchangeable. You can actually, if you wanted to, you can kind of do the Target Master thing here, where you can stack the one on top of the other if you wanted. Make like a bigger gun, and then mount it here on the back, which is kind of nice. Really cool. Very Zoids looking kind of thing, which I'm into. And I am into this kind of thing. I'm really into the Pretenders, and this guy is awesome. He is probably, like I said, he's my favorite out of a lot. He has a simple transformation. His transformation is lift his tail here up and just kind of get it up out of the way. And then here on the bottom, he actually has a storage for the headpiece, which comes off. And this right here is actually the combiner head. So it does happen to have little posts around the bottom, so that way you can store all the components in its robot mode. But you just lift this up, and then you'll spin this here all the way around. And then these little leg pieces here kind of move down like so. Then you'll take the arm components here and just kind of move them forward. And they happen to have little fist holes right there already. And then you'll take this part and just kind of spin it around and set down just like so. That way it kind of just forms the chest of the robot. Like I said, it's kind of, you have to extend it here, so that way it gives him a little bit of height. And then back here, you just kind of grab his little head and then pop the head up. And then there you go. He does happen to have a very similar transformation to Razor Claw from the Plasticon. The Plasticon Dinobot, not Dinobots, but the animal pretender. Yeah, Plasticon. Yeah, that guy. Sorry, it's a little early for me today, but yeah, really cool. Do like him a lot. Like I said, you can take the little guns, and the guns will peg successfully into the little hands, which is kind of nice. And then there you go, he's holding his gun. He can, you know, pew pew everything he wants. Like I said, he does kind of suffer from the hands kind of hitting the portion here on the dinosaur. Those whole part, but that's okay. I like him. He's really cool. But let's you can take this part here if you wanted to, and I really can. I mean, if you needed to really store it in this mode, you can just put it on his back. Although it's kind of funny because you know he's got a face hanging on the back, but you know there is storage there. But let's move on to the next one. Taking a look at the second one, here is Doryu. Doryu is really cool. I kind of like the derpy face he's got going on here because he's just like, I don't know about this kind of look. He doesn't really have a smile, but it looks like he has a little bit of intention there, like maybe he's making a bit of a smirk. But I do like how his face sculpt is. It's very cool. I love all these little spines going across here because, you know, Stegosaurus has got that. And he's even got his little tiny little bitty spikes here on his tail, which is nice. He's got all this kind of silver picked out as well. And it's got these guns added to the sides here, and these guns actually do come off, and you can move the guns up here if you wanted to, so that way you can have a shoulder mount or a gun there, either one. That's what's really cool about this set, is it's amazing what you can do with these. These are so cool. I love interchangeable weapons and just all the kind of stuff you can do with those. The other thing he has is he's got the foot pad that goes to the combiner mode, stores underneath, and just plugs in this hole right here. That's kind of nice. I like the fact that it's got storage for all those bits. And if you wanted to, I mean, if you really wanted to get kind of creative here, you can add the foot peg here on the side, and then take the gun here, and then you can plug the gun into this hole, and then there you go. He's got a gun with kind of a, I don't know, like a shield on the side to keep him from getting shot this direction. I don't know. Your imagination. Do what you want. I do love the fact that he does have these little optional things. Articulation-wise, his head does kind of move up and down, which is kind of nice. I mean, it does kind of break the illusion, but I mean, at least he can look up, which is nice. I mean, he can look way up if you wanted to. And then his little tail moves back and forth like this. And then you've got his little feet. And they just move forward and back. And these do move like this. That way you can give him a little bit of a walking pose if you want. And same thing with these front ones. These front ones here will move back and forth. Now, if you end up getting this set, yes, these will just come right off, which is kind of cool. I think it's funny that this happens, but you know, it makes me not worry so much. And it's the same thing here with the front ones; they'll come off as well. So if you really wanted to like mix and match things here, you can, but I don't know. I just it's cool. I leave it the way it is, but it's a neat little option. His transformation is pretty simple. You'll take the head and flip it all the way back. You'll take these, much like Snarl, and you'll just kind of move these into this position because it has a bit of a indentation here where those go. And then you'll take this whole portion here, and then it will extend out and then flip all the way around. And then you'll take these and then flip the front part of the dinosaur leg up, just like so. And this part here just kind of rocks back and kind of just gets off the top of his head. And there you go. There's Daru in his robot mode. And he's really cool. I like him. What's neat about this is you can take the foot plate and put it here as a shield if you want. And then you can take the little gun here, and if you want to, you can actually combine these guns kind of any way you really want. It's probably easier to combine it like this to make like a longer rifle if you wanted to. And it really kind of has problems trying to hold this rifle because it just doesn't really fit well. But what you can do is peg it on his arm. then there you go. And if you wanted to, you could just, look, give him a rifle, and then take this right here and turn it this direction. And now he's got a sword. So he's got a rifle, and a sword, and a shield. He's awesome. I like him. Let's move on to the next. And here's Raru in his Brontosaurus mode. He's a pink Brontosaurus. I like him. I think it's great. He's got these purple legs and this kind of green little thing sticking out. It's nice how the gun can just pop on top just like that. And the foot plate, it fits into either one of these two holes here you want on the bottom. And it's kind of tight when it comes to the actual fitment between the legs on these, but the great thing is these legs are all pegged in much like the Stegosaurus. So if you needed to move things around, you could. Yes, there we go. Got it back in there. And you got the little sword there you can put here on this foot, or you can just move these here if you want to, kind of like, you know, like Voltron does, where Voltron actually has some of the swords attached like this. Or if you really want to get creative, you can just do this, and then you can like run by, you know, chop up Autobots like this. Why not? I mean, he's a Brontosaurus. It's not like he has a whole lot of defense. I'm going to take these little bits here off of him. Like I said, he's got little peg holes on the top, much like the Triceratops. And they're on the sides. And these do come off just as well, which is cool. It's got a lot of detail, by the way, under there. It's not just like, oh, this thing's just over it and then you don't see any detail. No, the whole thing is detailed. These things are very well sculpted. Love these things. Articulation-wise, he does have an opening and closing jaw. These move back and forth. And so do these. Now, if you want to make these actually have more of a stance, per se, it looks like he's walking or something, you can easily do this. But it only has limited forward. Backward, you can kind of get him to do a bit of a stance here like that. If you want to see if he's kind of walking, it's kind of nice. I like it. Love all the silver picked out on him. He's got his Decepticon emblem right there, which is nice. And he's a very successful little Brontosaurus. Simple transformation. You'll take this portion here and extend it out, and you'll rock it backward. Then these, I tend to just rock back just a little ways. That way it just kind of gives him a bit of a heel spur, so that way you can stand. And then these parts here will extend down, and the hands will actually just kind of extend out. Then you'll take this portion and flip it back, and then bam! It's got robot mode. I like all the decals too. I forgot to mention the decals. Decals are amazing on these. I love this set. It's so cool. And what else is neat is you can take these two, plug them together, put that in his hand, and he's got a huge, like, claymore type of sword. And then you can obviously take his foot plate here and make it a shield again, which is kind of cool. There we are. There he is in his robot mode. The huge sword. The sword's enormous. It's cool. I like it. Let's move on to the next one. Take a look at Guryu. He's a huge T-Rex. That's what he does. He does have a opening and closing jaw, by the way, which is nice. He's got these swords attached to his hips, that way he can just like walk by and, you know, cut up Autobots. Why not? He's got his Decepticon emblem right there on the back of his head. And he's got this kind of a purple going on here, and then this is a real neon green. If you notice, these all kind of really fit together with the neon theme. I love this about this set. This set is so 90s, and I love every bit of it. Little swords here, you can take these off, and if you want to, you can, I don't know, give him a chin sword. You can just like uppercut people with that, I guess. It's kind of funny. As for the back, you can put the swords back here if you wanted to. It's kind of cool. I don't mind this. But really, it's not too difficult. Even though they both have the pegs, you can actually fit the swords behind him like this. And he's got a lot of little cool little options you can do with these things. I love these weapons. These weapons are amazing. These weapons really help sell the set, that's for sure. Yeah, he's got, you can do your normal T-Rex stance. Jaw opens and closes. And then, much like Grimlock, his little arms move back and forth just that far. And they do come off. If you really want to just pull the arm off and maybe be okay, even replace his arm with a sword. You could do that if you wanted. I don't recommend it though. It's funny, but yeah. The back legs do come off too. So if you really wanted to do some mixing and matching here, you really could. There's a lot of things you can do with this set. The set's really got a lot of playability. But anyway, he's got a simple transformation. You'll just take this, let's start here. Pull this out, extend it, flip it down. I tend to leave these down, so that way it kind of gives him a little bit more stability, so he stands better. And then you'll take this portion here and flip it back. And then these, we'll slide these in. A little stiff on mine, so have to bear with me. There it goes. And then this one. There you are. Got him in his robot mode. He's very cool, very successful. I like him a lot. And you can take the little swords, and you can obviously put the swords in his hands. Push these up a little bit more. These tend to get a little stiff sometimes. What's funny is, since he's come off, it makes it a little easier to do this kind of thing. Just like that. And then you can put his sword in his hand if you want, which is nice, because his sword actually will fit a little better. So, chop, 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 chop. And then this right here, if you want to, you can put the spare sword, either here on his shoulder, or you can even like drape it across his back, which is kind of nice. So we can just have like the one sword, and then he has a second sword behind him. I do like that about him. It's very awesome. Really into this. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on to the last member of the group. And here's your Kiaru. He is a Pteranodon. A very successful Pteranodon. He's got these wings that can extend out, and they can also fold back, which is kind of nice. So he has kind of a perching stance, which is pretty neat, just like Swoop does. He's got an opening and closing jaw, and his head does move back and forth, which is really nice. He's got these little guns, these little gun missile things that are mounted here, which can be moved anywhere really you want to. It's got a hole available. And you extend these out. It's got a pretty good sized wingspan on him too, which is really nice. Like a large wingspan on my Pteranodons. And you can just flip this up like this, and then there you go. You have him in his flight mode. I do like him. It's got a little tail kind of sticking out there at the back. It's got a lot of detail. So much detail. And he's got this kind of a gold going on here. And it's funny because there's gold and silver throughout this entire thing, which is kind of nice. It really uniformly brings the whole thing together. I'm really into that. I like a little bit of just shininess here and there. I just, he can headbang. His headbanging Pteranodon. Huge fan. Anyway, these little guns, they can come off. And these guns, much like the Triceratops, will also combine together for the larger mode if you wanted to. So, you do have that option. Let's take a good close look at how he transforms. So, primarily what you'll do is you'll fold in the wings, they will fold completely flat. And then these will unpeg from these holes. And then the bottom portion here, it's a little stiff on mine, but they will fold all the way out. It's kind of nice. There we go. And then you flip up this head. Now this part here, if you want to, because it does have a whole like peg system here, you can either leave it up like this, or you can bring it all the way down and then spin it around and lay it against the back. Kind of makes him a little back heavy though, because his one thing I did notice about him is his knees are a little weak. It's kind of hard to tighten these. I probably could go through and throw some nail polish in there, which I've thought about doing, just to kind of tighten these a little. I haven't gotten around to doing it, so that's kind of my fault on that. So I'll just hold him up so he doesn't fall over. But yeah, there you go. And he does have these little stubby arms that come out. Pretty nice. And the arms can actually hold the gun just fine. There it is in combined mode. I like him a whole lot. He's awesome. Let's go ahead and move into the combination mode. Here's our Dinoking setup here, and here's all the guys just grouped together. I think they all look pretty excellent myself. I'm a big fan of these. I think this is a pretty excellent little array of dinosaur combiners, and Dinoking here does not disappoint. I am a fan. Huge fan. I love dinosaurs. I love neon colors. These are amazing. I think they're cool. So let's get into combining these guys. Let's start out here with the pterodactyl, and going from robot mode is pretty simple. What I primarily like to do is just move these little feet up. Actually, no. Already do that. Starting out with the pterodactyl guy here, he's super simple. The feet pretty much just stay straight out like they are. This part here will flip down, so that way it's got the combiner ports. And then these wings actually come off, and they just slide right out. And what you'll do with the wings is you will combine these together, and then flip these out, and then I have that part there ready. As for him, he's pretty much good to go, like this. Now you can do this where you have the pterodactyl head up, which is kind of cool, if you want to do that. But, you know, just anything like that if you just kind of want to add a little bulk to the shoulder. Let's check out the other arm, which would be our Tyrannosaurus. He's pretty simple. I just flip this down, and then you'll open up the mouth here a little bit, and then these I normally try to rotate backwards so they're just not in the way. As for these, extend these back out like you normally would, and then you can put these up like so. And then I have the tail usually out like this, and then flip down his peg, and then he's ready. If you want to, you can do this, and I have done this before in the past as well. Kind of clean it up a little bit if you want, so you don't have the gill sticking out. And you just put his tail up like this if you want, just to kind of make like a solid arm. Moving on to the legs. Legs are pretty simple. You just squish them down. As for the hands here, I normally will just kind of put these back into the default dinosaur position and put them just like that. And then the peg foot will go just like so. And there you go. You got a leg. This part here you can actually extend out a little bit if you want to. And the cool thing is we get to choose which direction we want to go with these legs. Take the Stegosaurus and just move the head portion down. That way it's kind of cleared here. And I normally just push it down, just like so. And as for these, I'll close these up and then set these down all the way. And then put this portion here kind of forward a little bit as well. Then I'll take the foot plate. And there we go. We got a foot. As for the middle guy, or middle dinosaur, I just normally will just fold these up. And kind of just leave it like this. Same thing here on this side. And then kind of gives them some shoulders. And peg that apart from the back. And then as for this, I will rotate this thing all the way back around. The head up just a little bit. And press this. And then move the tail portion out just like so. And then I'll move the jaw down, that way it kind of helps hold the tail where it needs to be. These you just leave where they're at. Now we're ready to combine them together. So what I'll do is I'll take the Brontosaurus, and they have these holes here on the bottom. And it will peg right into the Brontosaurus just like so. And then do the same thing here for the Stegosaurus. Just like that. And then I like to put the T-Rex on this side. And then I'll take the Pteranodon and put him on this side. Now, I'll this up some so you guys can see everything else I'm doing. Because he's a bit tall. He really is. Take the head portion, and you'll just take this hole here and plug it right over the original head of the Triceratops robot. And then you can turn him around, and he's got these two pegs here on the back. That goes into these two holes. There's two sets of holes. These are mainly for the weapons. These are for the combined mode. And normally when I do this, I'll fold the wings up so it's a little easier to see what I'm doing. And we'll plug that in just like so. And then spread his wings out. And spin him back around. And there we go. There is Dinoking and his robot mode combined. And like I said, there is an option here as well. If you don't like the feet being like this, you can change them around, which is nice. That's one thing I do like about this. And you guys are probably asking, okay, this is like the peg head combiners that we've had ever since, in the past. Yes, they are. These will work with your G1 combiners as well, or G2 combiners, either one that you have. You can also turn this around a little bit and peg these in just like this if you want. Just have to kind of get everything pegged back into place. Try and do this without. There it is. I try not to push them in too far, but that's just me. being extra cautious, because that's how I am with stuff like this. And then he just kind of puts this up, and I'll kind of push this back down. Sometimes this tail does not like to stay, which makes this not look very nice. So what you could do is push the tail to the back. I'll just unpeg this one here to do it. Which is fine. It actually doesn't even really get in the way, especially if you put it in the very back like this, that way it's just not in the way. And then it's just like he has an actual dinosaur tail, which is kind of funny. I don't actually mind this either. This is one of those combiners you can kind of do really anything you want. The only thing you can't do, you can scramble city these guys here can swap, these guys here can swap, but that's it. You can't really do the swapping with everything else. Now if you wanted to do like your G1 combiners, you're actually going to have to use the bits that come with those combiners. The arm articulation, because this here rotates, is kind of nice. That way you're able to move this back and forth. He does have a hand here that is open. The jaw of the T-Rex actually has a hole in it. So let's move this back real quick, and let's take a look at this weaponry. I did mention to you guys that the guns here actually combine together. So you'll take the guns and peg them together, just like this. And you'll take these and combine them together, just like that. Then these will actually plug onto the top, just like so. And then there you go. You got a nice quad laser cannon gun. Now what's great is you have two different posts here, and these will actually just plug right into the bottom of the pterodactyl's feet, which gives you his gun. He can hold his gun. Now let's take a look at these weapons here. Now something I like to do, because there's different configurations you can do with these. These will actually plug in just like so to create the long sword, if you wanted to. Take this and plug this into here. And we'll take this and plug this into here. And then these will plug in directly like this. And then you'll do the same on the other side. And then what's cool is you can take this entire sword and you can actually plug it into the hand of the T-Rex. Because you have to have this out quite a bit in order to do that. You can plug it in this direction if you want, or you can plug it in like, because he does have a hole in the bottom. It's kind of hard for me to see it. But plug in just like that. This is kind of funny. I think it's kind of silly, but something I like to do with this. And this is primarily how I like to display Dinoking. I don't like using these like this. I like to make this thing an axe. And the reason I like the axe is because that's what Dinoking uses. He uses an axe. He doesn't use a sword. So I will turn this upside down. And then trying to remember how I do this. Just have to bear with me here for a second. How did I do this before? That's right. See, I'm old and forgetful sometimes. What I normally do is I will put the bits like this. That way he actually has a bit of an axe look. And then I will take the other end of one of these and plug it in kind of sideways to give it a bit of a handle. And then I'll take this part here and just put it here on the end. Kind of gives him a little more of an axe. And then this will plug in directly into the wall. And then there you go. Now he's got an axe. I'm actually more into the axe. I think it's better. It just works better for me. But that's just my preference. Anyway, you guys are interested in these. These are kind of hard to find out there now. This is also known as a knockoff of Plasticon that's out there. But I personally think this is probably the coolest combiner that has been brought out there by knockoff companies in a very, very long time. The plastic quality is not terrible. There are a couple things I will say. The pegs, be a little gentle with them. If they're a little too tight, maybe sand them down. But that's about it, really. The rest of it, pretty solid toy. I mean, I'm able to kind of pick him up and not have to worry about him falling completely apart, even with the legs kind of pushed in partially. They still hold together very well. And give you a bit of a size comparison, here he is with Legends Megatron. He really fits in with this. He's enormous. I like how big he is. Your Superion would come up much taller than he is, but he is definitely a little shorter than your Defensor. But he's not terrible. He really isn't. He's a very, very neat robot. I do like him a lot. I do love the little derpy face he has going on there because it's a very G2-ish thing. And this thing gives off such a G2 vibe. It's kind of necessary. I love it. But anyway, this has been Plasticon. This has been yet another Transformers review. And I'll catch you guys later. There's plenty more coming your way. That's it for now. Bye. If you like this content, please like, share, and subscribe. I also have YouTube membership and Patreon, so feel free to sign up for those. I'll be doing shout outs on those for those who donate toward the channel. Thank you all for your support, and I appreciate everybody that has been taking their time out to support the channel and check out what I do. This has been Plasticon. This is me signing off. Peace out, y'all. See you around. Bye.